The Rhodes Scholarships were set up in 1902 by Cecil Rhodes. The world's most prestigious scholarship program finances students from certain countries to study at Oxford University. It's administered from Rhodes House in Oxford, seat of the Rhodes Trust, and its CEO, officially called the Warden. In this video, we will be focusing on Charles Conn, still Warden at this time, his successor Elizabeth Kiss, and how the post was transferred from Conn to Kiss. Typically, you cannot apply for a Rhodes Scholarship entirely on your own. Instead, you first have to be endorsed by your undergraduate college. This can be a problem because politics at colleges can get in the way of qualified candidates applying. Decades of subversion of educational institutions has led to a situation where most college faculties and even more college administrators are overwhelmingly on the political left and often firmly opposed to free speech and free assembly, preferring echo chambers to intellectual diversity. Of course, this can affect the endorsement of candidates for the Rhodes Scholarships. This is why Rhodes Scholars for Intellectual Diversity have called on the Rhodes Trust to abandon the endorsement requirement and instead do candidate selections entirely in-house. So far, no action seemed to have been taken on this. Here is an example from Harvard where, under the guise of gender equality and social justice, college administrators have implemented a rule that withholds endorsements from students who are members of private single-gender clubs, finals clubs, which are independent of the university. This is clearly against the First Amendment of the US Bill of Rights, violating freedom of association. While Harvard is private, it does receive large amounts of federal money and so may fall directly under the Bill of Rights. Private or not, it's very bad that violations of the First Amendment, free speech and association are so persistently being committed by educational administrators and faculty, sometimes at the behest of a few student radicals. This is against the very purpose of educational institutions as places of learning, debate, discussion and intellectual challenge. Since around 20 years, Elliot Gerson is the secretary of the Rhodes Trust in the US. He is ultimately in charge of picking US Rhodes Scholars. Gerson has been politically active for the Democratic Party. In May 2016, he published an article in the Harvard Crimson supporting Harvard's anti-First Amendment policies. In our next video, we will be looking at how the Rhodes Trust communicates consistently, taking far-left political stances, while at the same time denying that these represent official policy. In his article, Gerson is similarly quote-unquote clever. He clearly identifies himself as the Rhodes Secretary, meaning that what he writes is Rhodes Trust policy. But he also claims that the article is written in a strictly personal capacity, presumably to deflect any criticism of political bias. In a recent phone call with Rhodes House relating to the ban of our spokesperson by Rhodes House, we mentioned this to senior Rhodes House staff. We were told that Gerson in fact had the okay of Rhodes House to publish the article. In the context of Gerson's proclaimed position against quote-unquote gender discrimination, it is interesting that there is a report from 2005 of 911 being called on Gerson because he was alleged to have pushed his daughter and twisted his wife's arm during their divorce. Gerson was arrested and charged with assault, child endangerment and witness tampering. Charges were later dropped. The case is sealed. We should also note that the Harvard Free Association ban is still being fought by some students and even faculty. It is highly controversial and was implemented from the top using the administrative power of the Office of Harvard President Drew Faust. The situation is now such that Harvard students who are members of private single-gender associations, men only or women only, cannot apply for Rhodes Scholarships anymore. Contrast that with the new warden of Rhodes House, Elizabeth Kiss. Since 2006, she has been employed as president of the women-only liberal arts college Agnes Scott in Georgia. She is the president of a single-gender college. Effectively, this means that you can become the CEO of the Rhodes Scholarships if you are the president of an entire college that is single-gender. But at Harvard, you can't become a mere Rhodes Scholar if you are a member of a tiny off-campus private single-gender club that doesn't even have a formal relationship with the university. Rhodes House and the Rhodes Trust curtail basic freedoms of students in the name of social justice and gender equality, while its new leader has made a career in an educational institution that only allows women. This is inconsistent and unfair. It's hypocritical. In our video on the principal agent problems, we looked at the salary packages of educational administrators, highlighting just how obscenely well paid some of them are. In fact, Elizabeth Kiss is not far behind. A few years back, she was the 12th best paid college president in the US, taking home more than $300 for every student enrolled. Kiss's Twitter feed contains a lot of political references. DACA is an Obama-era executive order. There were references to climate change, identity diversity, and, most damning of all, social justice, a truly evil concept that abandons individual responsibility and reward in favour of group responsibility and reward. Here she is seen hosting a leg of the Hillary Clinton What Happened book tour. Suspicious is the way in which the succession from Charles Conn to Elizabeth Kiss occurred, especially the timing. In May 2017, Elizabeth Kiss announced her resignation from Agnes Scott, effective June 2018. In October 2017, Dominic Barton, managing partner of the consulting firm McKinsey and a Rhodes trustee, announced that Charles Conn, the current warden of Rhodes House, will step down, also effective June 2018. That's an odd quote-unquote coincidence, as it appears the succession from Conn to Kiss may have been planned all along. This is a problem because Barton also announced that an expensive executive recruiting firm had been hired to recruit a new warden. In January 2018, Barton and Sir John Hood, chairman of the trustees of the Rhodes Trust, then announced Elizabeth Kiss as the new warden. They also announced that Conn would stay on part-time, continuing to receive payments from the Rhodes Trust. Current Warden Conn added that he had known Kiss for more than 30 years. This is adding to suspicions that the transfer of the wardenship was already arranged before the Trust spent money on an executive recruitment firm, in effect wasting this money. Keep your eyes and ears open and don't get conned. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it in your network. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. For more information about Rhodes Scholars for Intellectual Diversity, check out this link. And if you want to support our work, then please follow this link.